Is that everybody in? Everybody in the canvas? You need me to wait just a second longer for this opener. Wait. Let's see if the ink works. Looks like the ink works. But those of you that have been in this room since the beginning of the year, that smart ink lies sometimes. Because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, you can see it says I should be able to write in blue ink, but sometimes when I try to write, it doesn't do it. This board has a mind of its own.
Make sure it works before you start it.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's either going to work or it's not. I'm not going to make one for writing on it. All right, so we have one moon. It's 238,900 miles away from us. It's actually very slowly going away, further and further, very slowly. I want to know how many inches that would be. This is a dimensional analysis problem. But what in this problem, in the actual question, not the two conversion factors, in the question, what are you actually starting with? How many miles? 238,000. Let's see if we get to write. So see, it's not going to let me write. Let's figure out where that is sitting. Where's that sitting at? Here? Here. The smart board drives me crazy. I have no smart ink. Go here. It is a big number because the moon is far away. Oh, come on, smart ink. Stop doing this to me. Go on there. Let's move this guy out of the way. I got to change the way the screen's presented. Hold on, online. You're going to not see stuff, and then you're going to see stuff again. So slow. Not as slow as y'all's Chromebooks, though. No. Come on, go where you're supposed to go. There we go. Now I got it. I said it's a...
Faculty and students, at this time, please evacuate the building to your assigned areas for a fire drill.
Awesome.
Please evacuate for a fire drill.
Just make your step here.
Please
I'll make
stay
sure
quiet,
it's
please.
right. Give me a second. Don't run away screaming. It's not really on fire.
Why?
Let me grab this. Let me grab this. Good thing we don't have something new and we're actually working on it. For those of you that are online, if you really want to go walk outside for a few minutes, great. And we just had a fire alarm. What am I supposed to tell them to do?
That's my
Is that everybody? Okay, you're back. Ow! I'm going to hurt myself. Alright, so, I think I really left off. Okay, so, what are we starting with again? What's the starting value? How many miles? 238,900 miles. Just down the line. Now, I know this is more than a one-step conversion because, and y'all, there's nothing wrong if you want to like underline or circle what you're starting with, and then what are we changing it into? What is it asking you? Inches. Okay, so now, like I said, I don't make my students personally memorize conversions. You have to know how to use them. I have no idea what the other parents are teaching here. But I don't. So I will give you the conversion factor. Now, in this, and like I said, I don't care if you use the parentheses or if you use the fence post. This is just what I'm used to doing. Where would you bring the unit miles so that it's forced to cancel the next step? Just diagonally down by 1. Okay, and if I'm in miles, what is the only thing I can change into? Feet. Okay, and I'm getting that. I wish I had like a highlighter. Will you let me highlight? Will you actually let me do that? Yeah. Okay, so that's this. No, it's not going to let me do it. I lost no, hold on. I just lost the smart ink. It's back. No, now it highlighted. Well, I'm going to get rid of that. Uh-oh. Well, I didn't mean to do that. I accidentally got rid of it all if I pushed the button. So let's start over. So we start off with lost my smart ink. Oh, no, I didn't. It's right here. Not this second, no. Okay, so came back. And I'm going to be using this conversion factor, okay, but I don't want to stop in feet. So where's feet going to go in the next step? Diagonally down. And then once I'm in feet, do I have a way to go to inches?
Yes.
Yeah. And since the highlighter made it just go all wonky, so this is the first conversion factor, which is going to fill in those 2 blanks. And then this is the second conversion factor, which is going to fill in these 2 blanks. So according to this, which of one of these gets the 1? Is it the mile or the foot? The mile does. It's stuck to it because a mile is bigger than a foot. And so how many feet? 5,280. And then now for this one, now the foot doesn't get 5,280. What does the foot get here? 1. And how many inches are in a foot? And like I said, that I personally, not that I enjoyed doing stoichiometry, but I like the way that it works because you know you've done it right. But the only thing that's left is this top right-hand corner, and that's what you're trying to solve for. Do you have to divide by 1? No. So now I need a calculator because I can't do this in my head. 238,900 times 5,280 times 12. Would you like to take out? Okay, it's your office class. Yeah. Okay, you got locked out. Now, in my calculator, it is going to force this into scientific notation because there's so many places that are being represented. And I'm going to write it, even though this is not meant for the answer, since this is my blank space, I'm going to write it here. The calculator says 1.51367 keeps going times 10, which is, I write an E to the 10. How many sig figs should be in it, though? How many sig figs is, no, those don't count. There's no decimal. So there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is the 6 going to round the 3 up?
Yes.
Yes, so. That's it. Oh, well, I didn't mean to erase the entire thing. It'll come back. Yeah, I don't see that. Come on, Smart Ink. I don't have time for you to do this. There it goes. So I'm going to, I guess I'll just rewrite it. So for 4 sig figs would be 1.514. You can still write times 10 to the 10th, but now I'm in inches. And like I said, these are going to force them into scientific notation if this power is, I think, more than 8.
But let's think it was out there, like, something.
If I took it out, it would be 1. I'm getting really sick and tired of this doing this. It's, I don't know, it's the Google slides specifically that it doesn't like. If it's on PDF, it seems to like it better. I want you to pin to this. There it goes. So without, it's 1 point, you said it was what, 4 sig figs? So 514, and then it's times 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't write a decimal. So it's 1, 5, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got thousands, millions, so 15 billion, 140 million. But now it's in inches, which is why we write numbers in scientific notation, so we don't have to write all these zeros. So if you were trying to put this answer in, like, as the answer for the focus, it would be 1.514, and then I would just write a capital E, which means times 10 to the, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then inches, I am. Otherwise, if you're trying to put it into that, so 1, 1, 4, you can either do this, or you can do this. Where you'd have that chevron, which means to the power of. I personally, just because it's shorter, I use a capital E. And for those of you that have this Callan, if you don't know how to do that, and I have to double check your Chromebooks, because on one like this, you would push the second button and then the comma, and that puts an E in there. You don't do times E, you would do the coefficient, 1.514, then you would push second E, 10. And like, there's no extra times. It's just, I've learned that you guys really haven't been taught how to use a calculator properly, and I think the function is slightly different on Chromebook. All right, so we are going to take a look at this together. I need to take it off of this because I can't drag and drop. And you guys are going to be submitting this into Canvas as a grade. And then if you had questions with the metric conversion, or if you wanted me to check them, I'm looking for those today. But I can't drag stuff when it's in presentation mode, so I got to do it this way. So drag the correct conversion factors and solve. Now, if you notice, this is set up like the fence post. It's just not a solid line. And then it says, as you go across the top, you multiply, and if it's top and bottom, then you divide. So liters, if liters is going to be here as a starting point, what has to come down? Liters. So the one that has the liters on the bottom is this one. So we're going to go from liters to gallons. That's the conversion factor. Like I said, I will give you conversion factors, but it wants to go, it doesn't want to go to gallons, it wants to go to cups. So gallon is going to go where in the next step? On the bottom. And then cups is going to go on the top. Like this. This and this actually mean the same thing. Anything divided by itself is 1. It just depends on, it's all controlled by your starting unit, because it's going to drop and then you convert. If you're not there, then you're going to drop that one and you're going to convert. So how would you solve this problem? Multiply. So 0.58 times 0.264 times 16. And I get 2.44992. That's what I get. How many sig figs should you have in your answer? How many is in 0.58 has 2. Let's see if I can write. So 2.44992 cups. I'm not gonna write I got cups. So is the 4 enough to change the 4?
No.
So what would the actual answer be? I didn't use these two because they were inversed. Technically, this represents 1. Technically, this represents 1. But your entire problem is completely and totally driven by what you're starting with, which I keep calling a given, because I was so used to the guess method for so many years. What the calculator spits out is the non-rounded answer by sig figs, and you're going to match however you start with. Conversion factors don't count for sig figs, ever. Now the next one, clear ink. This one, whoops. Drag the correct conversion factors and solve. I'm gonna let you guys try to do this one by yourself for a minute. Okay, you're starting in yards, so you should know, for you guys, it's this way, what's going to drop down. Because you're gonna go from yards to feet first, and then you're gonna go from feet to inches. Let me see. And I'm going to wait to see if you guys give me the right answer, but I'm going to check and make sure that you guys have dragged these or drug them all, dragged, whatever. Put them in the right spot. Oh, do you not have your Chromebook? You don't have a charger? Then,
I tried to do that yesterday and you said no.
no, there's a reason we're not putting extension for it, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how you can reach it. And I've got one on that side and I've got one on that side. In case, now, some of you, like, I think there's 1 or 2 plugs that are actually on the wall, and I think there's 2 that are on that wall. Are y'all getting an answer yet? A non-rounded answer yet?
Oh, yeah.
What are you getting? Hey, you did it right. So what you should be getting in your calculator, if you set this right, all of the numbers were on the top. And what you should be getting in the calculator is 2.592. Is there anybody that is not getting that? Because I need to see what you're doing wrong. It might just be putting it in the calculator. You may have pushed the wrong button, but chances are that's not what the problem was. You inversed one of these. Remember, this goes down. It's YD. Which means which of these is going to be drug into its place? Which one has the yard on the bottom? The one that has the yard on the bottom? And so where's feet going to go?
On the bottom.
So you need to make sure you're using the one that has the feet, with the foot, with 1 foot on the bottom, not this one, because then you're just switching it back. Because you're going from feet to inches, and when you multiply the top, this is what you get. However, is that the right answer?
Yes.
No. How many 6 inches did you have?
2.
2, because the 0 in the front doesn't count. 2 point what?
5.
No, 2.6. And now it's in inches. 1, 2, the 9 is enough to round the 5 up to a 6. Yes, I have people that have, and I know, like, don't make fun of somebody if they're having issues rounding. The one that your last sig fig is, it's the number after that you're looking at to see if you leave it alone or you round it up. Or you possibly change them to zeros. Remember what's on the next one. Like I said, I can't do this on the board. Okay, so here are your conversion things that we're going to be using. Let me drag this out of the way so you can see it. Okay, so there are 5,280 feet in a mile, 3 feet in a yard, 2.54 centimeters in an inch, 100 centimeters in a meter, 16 ounces in a pound, 2.2 pounds in a kilogram, 2 cups in a pint, 16 tablespoons in a cup, and then 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon. The things that have the 1, those are actually the larger measurement. The thing that has the conversion is the smaller measurement. And you're going to use these to be able to do this. Now I'm going to start you off that I got to get it off the big screen. The baby is starting off with 120 ounces. And then knowing this, you're going between the next thing. So we're going to kilograms. So we're going to go from ounces to pounds and then from pounds to kilograms. So what's the conversion between ounces and pounds? 16 ounces is in 1 pound. And then back here, between pounds and kilograms is right here. Now the pound doesn't get a 1 now. The kilogram gets a 1. And, oops, kilograms up here. And the pound goes here. This 1, if it bothers you, because this is done with factoring, not with the fence post, the 1 would go underneath 120 ounces. So what are you going to do with this problem? Are you going to multiply or are you going to divide? What are you going to do? Divide. So how are you going to put it in the calculator? Because this is what you're going to do stuff that's wrong. 120 divided by, you need to open parentheses, 16 times 2.2. Now what you can do, and I'm going to write this on the board. It'll do it right, but you're not used to seeing it this way. So in your calculator, you could just do divided by the things twice. You don't use parentheses, or if you're using parentheses, that's supposed to be a 2. And then I need to know what you're getting for an answer. You get a big number, you should be not getting a big number. You should be getting a long number, but it should not be a big number. What are you getting?
I got 3.4090.
How many numbers should be in your answer?
3.
No. 2. That 0 doesn't count. So 3 point what? 3 point what?
3.4.
3.4 what? What is the unit now? It's not in ounces anymore. Kilograms. And yes, the K is supposed to be capitalized. Kilo, mega, giga, tera, they're all capitalized. All the big guys down here. These guys are all lowercase, and that's a Greek. Like, oh, I should probably get all this off. Don't let this scare you. We'll learn how to do this later.
Is the order in place again?
What do you place what with? 3.4, and then the unit is not in ounces anymore. It's in kilograms. Because if I take ink, well, it's not going to let me write. It's not going to let me write unless I have a thing up. Ones don't do anything. Pounds cancels out. Ounces cancels out. So it's 120 divided by, and I personally would open parentheses 16 times 2.2, but you can do 120 divided by 16 divided by 2.2. Just don't use parentheses if you do it that way. Or you could do 16 times 2.2, get that number, and then divide that into 120. Okay, next one. Whoops, wrong way. Let me drag my stuff back out. All right, next one. How many teaspoons are in a pint? We are starting with 1 pint. So now I have to go back to this. A pint has, so we're going to go from pint to cups, and we're going to go from cups to tablespoons, and then I think it was teaspoons. So this is actually a 3-step conversion. So 1 pint has how many cups in it? 2. And then cup is going to come down. How many tablespoons are in a cup? 16. Once again, I'm getting those from this slide. They're all right here. And then I'm going to bring down a tablespoon has how many teaspoons in it? 3. So that means that this missing one, if it's really bothering you, goes here. There's nothing wrong with using the fence post here instead. So you start with 1 pint. You're going to go from pint to cup. You're going to go from cup to tablespoon. And you're going to go from tablespoon to teaspoon. I know there's 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon. There's 16 tablespoons in a cup. There's 2 cups in a pint. It's the same exact dang thing. And this would be multiplication. So you don't have to be 1 time. So 2 times 16 times 3. And I get 96. But you're starting off with how many sig figs?
1.
So what would you round this up to so it only has 1 sig fig? Well, this is your first sig fig. Will the 6 round the 9 up? To a 10, so it rounds up to 100 teaspoons. You're just not used to doing larger rounds. You're used to doing it to like the 1th place or like the 10th place. And like I said the other day, we round to the order of 6 billions in this class later on in this year. What? What's the matter? It rounded up to, like, the calculator told you 96. Okay, but because we started off with 1 pint, right? Yeah, 1 pint. Then our answer should have only had 1 sig fig in it too, and so 96 rounded up to 100. So what do you put here? Convert 4,321 centimeters to yards.
4,321.
I'm going to go from centimeters up. So my conversion factor. So we're going to go from centimeters to inches. We're going to go from, I don't know where inches to feet are. It looks like she didn't put it on here. So I'm going to go from centimeters to inches. And then I'm going to go from inches to feet. So how many inches are in a foot? And then I'm going to go from feet to yards. And 1 yard has 3 feet in it. Once again, this one, if you need to put it, will go there on the bottom. I just don't care how you do it. If you do factoring, so this would be 4,321 divided by parentheses 2.54 times 12 times 3, close parentheses. 2.54 times 12 times 3. Tell me what you get. Because like I said, these things don't help you if you don't know how to use them properly. Fire drill mess with it. We're going to probably push that paper that I have with you back to tomorrow because we only have 5 minutes. What are y'all getting in calculator? Smash buttons. What are y'all getting in calculator? Okay, when you put it in the calculator, did you do it this way? Then you do divided by parentheses. Did you use parentheses?
Yeah.
You did 2.54 times 12 times 3. That's what you did wrong, because you should not be getting a number that big. Now, I spend every year, it does not matter what subject I teach. If it's a math-heavy subject like chemistry, I end up fixing your calculator issues. Because I don't know who's taught you how to use these things, but they taught you wrong. So you should be getting, now I'm going to want 4 sig figs. So I get 47.255. So that's going to round that up to a 6, and it ends up being yards is the unit now. And then there's what, one more on here? Yep. It's okay. The fire drill just sort of messed with this. All right, so Tricia measures the volume of a cube using a ruler. The length, width, and height have all measured 8 centimeters. The mass of the cube is 120 grams. What is the density of the cube? So if it's a perfect cube of 8, length times width times height, you're going to do 8 times 8 times 8, which is 512. So my volume is 512 cubic centimeters. You don't round until the very end. My mass is 128 grams. How do you do density? Density is what? One 128 divided by 512. Rounded to 3 significant figures. I need to add a 0. Calculator doesn't understand, it needs 3. But yes, volume, if it's a perfect cube, then you're doing length times width times height, 8 times 8 times 8, and then centimeter times centimeter times centimeter is a centimeter cube. I don't know if I have enough time to do both of the other ones. Carl drops an irregularly shaped rock with a mass of 30 grams. It originally had 10 mils and it goes up to 15. What's the volume of the rock? Subtract 15 minus 10. Density is still mass divided by volume. You don't need a calculator. What's 30 divided by 5? 6. This is this. This is the liquid version. This is the solid version. Says Ashton wants to find the volume of a block of wood. The density of the block, all right? So we know density is 30 grams per mil. The mass is 125 grams. Okay, so my volume is mass divided by density. One 125 divided by 30. And I'm going to use 1/60. So it ends up being 4 units a milliliter. And so those of you that are online, do not worry about the PDF sheet that is there because the bell's about to ring. And, right? Isn't it ring right at noon? Or is it ringing 12? Okay, so now that metric paper, if you finished it, because I haven't graded them yet, if you finished it, you can turn it in, but I want to use tomorrow to make sure that you've done that right. We will review for the test. The test is Thursday. Fire drill messed up our class. It's all right. So I see Matthew, you came. Sorry, that fire drill really messed things up. Yeah, I see Matthew. I saw Alexis. And I saw Kyle. Thank you.
Is that the people from yesterday?
Yeah, did you finish it? Okay.
Whenever I did it, I didn't have a pencil, so not as it is.